All right, hey VC, it's Jamie back with you once again. This time in with a contest entry. This is for a contest on Emma's channel, 8 Vinyl Low, and Emma has a contest to celebrate, I believe, 100 subscribers, although I think she's well past 100 subscribers. I think she's at least 150 or more. So congratulations, Emma, on that. This is for her Let's Dance contest, where you show 4 albums from your collection that kind of get you moving, kind of get you on the dance floor, cutting some rug. Not some really old term. And so I'm going to show 4 albums. I'm not much of a dance guy, so this was a bit of a challenge for me. And I've kept this strictly to my vinyl collection as opposed to CD collection. But I want to give a shout out for Emma. Really enjoy your channel, Emma. And I understand you are a Cheap Trick fan. And for you, Emma, I did see Cheap Trick years ago, back in July 1977. This was when they opened up for Kiss. This was on the Kiss Love Gun Tour in Kitchener, Ontario. Had no idea who was opening or who Cheap Trick was. We were there to see Kiss Love Gun Tour. It was an amazing concert. But when Cheap Trick performed, again, if you're not being familiar with this band at all, and then seeing somebody like Rick Nelson come out with the 50s ball cap and the whole look, and Bunny Carlos on drums, who looks like your uncle or something like that, and then Robin Zander and the rest of the band, absolutely mind-blowing. And what was really interesting is that they were Cheap Trick. They were booed throughout their entire performance because everybody was there to see Kiss. And Cheap Trick, I mean, the booing just never stopped. But what was interesting, they kept plugging away, very professional, and I really enjoyed their performance. I thought they were rocking. I thought they had great energy despite all the booing and whatnot. Certainly other bands would have said, oh, that's, I can't take this, that's enough. But they were really professional, kept rocking as hard as they could. And I was a fan ever since. And as a result of that concert, I did pick up many a Cheap Trick album. So yeah, so a shout out to that. So yeah, I go way back with the band Cheap Trick, and they're still going. And I don't have tickets, but I think they do have a show coming up in Kitchener, Ontario again. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, okay, let's get to the contest. It's Let's Dance. You show 4 albums to kind of get you moving. What's interesting for me in terms of albums, sometimes there's a few songs on an album, and sometimes it's not the whole album. So I kind of went through my collection, stuck it to the vinyl. I mean, I could have easily done this with the CDs and whatnot, but again, I'm not really a dance kind of guy. But this one I thought of off the top, kind of a cheesy one right off the top. But come on, the Grease soundtrack. I remember, if I remember the Cheap Trick show with Kiss back in 1977, I certainly remember when this movie came out in 1978. I remember seeing it. You had to see this movie at least 5 times. It was just so huge. It was one of those movies you saw again and again and again. And what a soundtrack in terms of, you got Frankie Valli doing the title track, Grease, very disco-ish. Summer Nights, if that's not going to get you moving with John Travolta, Olivia Newton-John, You're the One That I Want when that opening bar kicks in. And, and even the rest of the album. I mean, you got Sha Na Na, covering a whole bunch of rock tunes, and then you got it's a great soundtrack, front to back, and yeah, it's take a quick look inside just at least in terms of the and how many albums, how many copies were sold of this, certainly back in the day. Yeah, 1978, Grease, John Travolta, Olivia Newton-John, still gets you going. This was a vote for my wife. She said, when I mentioned this contest to her, she said, Rolling Stones, Start Me Up. So I thought I'd include Rolling Stones, Tattoo You. Certainly Start Me Up. When you get that opening riff, you're on the dance floor, that sort of thing. So again, maybe not necessarily the whole album, although I do really love the song Slave. It's got such a great groove on that song. And then the final track, Waiting on a Friend, is great. Overall, a great album. But certainly Start Me Up is going to get you moving for sure. Okay, and another one. I know this has been featured in some of the other contest entries, but yeah, David Bowie's Let's Dance. Again, maybe not necessarily the whole album, but man, Modern Love, when that kicks in, boom, boom, and then when the drums, boom, boom, fantastic. And of course, the title track, Let's Dance. David Bowie, great stuff. And one more. How about ABBA? The singles. First 10 years. This came out in 1982. Interesting to note that when this compilation first came out, this I believe was one of the first ABBA Greatest Hits to come out. And when they released this, they were intending to release a new album, but then of course things were falling apart within the band. They decided to release a compilation instead. At the time, this did include 2 new tracks. And the 2 new tracks at the time were The Day Before You Came and Under Attack, I believe. And this is a Canadian pressing, certainly with the Maple Leaf, and this specifically talks about the official Canadian fan club, the official ABBA Canadian fan club. And ABBA, come on, you know, it's gonna, especially with Mamma Mia and all that stuff. And it's interesting with this double album, they don't have any of the tracks on the back, but they have all the tracks inside. And boy, this gives you just about everything you need. Obviously, there's been so many ABBA compilations over the years, like Volume 1, Volume 2, that sort of thing. But this is really, a nice package. And this is a band that I kind of dismissed early on, but a band that I've certainly grown to enjoy over the years, especially some of their later tracks that had very kind of melancholy feel to them, with some very, very interesting lyrics. And this one's got a lot of attention to the sleeves. Oh, sorry, my clock is going again. Of course, replicating some of the original covers, and then on the Atlantic label. So there's the one. Oh, it's 6 o'clock, so we're going to hear a lot of chimes here. And then we got that. And then, of course, like that. Okay, so those are my entries for Emma's contest. There we go. So those are my entries for Emma's contest. Again, check out her video, or her channel rather, 8 Vinyl Low. And again, Emma really getting into the vinyl community and picking up lots of great vinyl hauls, that's for sure. So Emma, thanks so much, and good luck with the contest. And yeah, we'll chat again. Take care.